Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Entrepreneurship Lab. This is your host, Nevena Bajalac, welcoming you once again to the new episode where we give you a lot of information on how you can improve your business, grow it and scale it, and exit if this is your goal. I hope you're doing well, and I just want to thank you for listening. We have thousands of listeners so far on this podcast. And as you know, we always try to bring you guests who have practical experience in certain areas of entrepreneurship and business so we can help you. And today I'm here to talk to you about most common mistakes I see sales agents or people who are working in sales are making. So if you are doing sales for your business or you have a sales team, this episode is for you, or please share it with them so they can avoid and they can get better at sales and close you more, right? We need to close always more sales. Before we start with this topic today, make sure to subscribe, download this episode, give us some hearts and likes and comments below, and share it with at least one person that can benefit from this content as well. So sales, right? Nothing happens until someone sells something. And first thing I want to share with you today is that I want to challenge this concept that I'm actually inspired for this episode today because I've been doing a lot of consulting with companies and they have sales department. And first step that I do is that I pretend, right? I mystery shop. I pretend to be a customer and I call them. And then I write a report and I shock the CEOs with how things actually are. And many companies, they're thinking they're doing good. However, they are losing so much in leads because there are many things that sales agents are not actually doing well, no matter the industry. So I'm focused now specifically in the UAE. So this is the experience I'm having as a consultant now, working with a lot of companies here in UAE, what's happening and which mistakes we are seeing. But the first challenge, I want to challenge your mindset that some CEOs come to me and they say, oh, like in sales, you either have it or you don't have it. Like some people are born to be good at sales, some are not. And this is not true. Sales are a skill, which means that you can get trained and you can become better. You can be a complete introvert who is afraid to speak with other people. However, if you get yourself trained, if you implement right techniques, if you learn how to handle objection, you can become really good at sales. Is it easier for some people than others? Absolutely. However, everyone can become good at it if they really want to. So what are some mistakes we are seeing? I'm going to share something from a very personal experience, like I said, recently that we are seeing, but I'm going to say that we're seeing a lot of sales agents communicating with clients and answering clients' inquiries on WhatsApp. All right. This is something that's very common here in United Arab Emirates. People are using WhatsApp. It's easier. And there is nothing wrong with WhatsApp. However, I want you to understand that sales is a long-term game. You need to, even if a person doesn't want to purchase now, you should focus on build relationships and present yourself as an expert that if they decide 6 months from now or 1 year from now or 2 years from now to buy from you, they remember you and they come back to you. Or if they have a friend who needs help with selling something or they want to purchase whatever product or service you're selling in your company, then you want them to remember you. And the mistake with communicating only through WhatsApp is that it's very difficult to build a good relationship. So first mistake is using only WhatsApp, right? You need to develop your verbal communication and you need to pick up the phone and have the conversation, right? Have the conversation with a person. Now, when it comes to WhatsApp, since we're talking about mistakes today and what not to do, a lot of sales people in sales, they don't have even their photo on their WhatsApp profile, right? Which is, I don't know, a little bit weird. Some people maybe have the logo of the company, but think about it. If you want to build relationship, a person is going to build trust faster if they feel like they know you. So if I want to contact someone or get someone contact, and when I see the picture, I can automatically put that photo of that person, like that picture, in my mind next to their name or next to what is that they do. So if you are in sales, the first thing you should do is get a professional headshot and have a photo of you. And also, I had, as a woman, to be honest, some very awkward and unpleasant experiences because I thought several times that I'm speaking with a female, and then I show up and it was a male, and the intentions were not purely business intentions, right? So we are living in UAE with there are almost 200 something cultures and nationalities. So the names are not necessarily familiar to some other nationality or culture. So people, first of all, don't know if they're speaking sometimes with a woman or a man. Is it this female or a male? And specifically in this Middle East culture where we have to have that kind of respect with clients, it's very important that you it is very important that you are very very clear on your photo, on who you are, and be professional in that matter, right? So I'm expecting everyone listening are. If you're a woman who is wearing hijab and you're feeling a little bit out of the comfort zone, again, professional photo shoot. You are in sales. If you're in sales, you're going to be meeting and seeing people every single day. So they're going to see your face, right? And having the professional photo shoot with hijab or with your traditional clothes, whatever it is, it's absolutely fine. And it is recommended. And it doesn't mean anything when it's a professional photo. It's just a professional photo. So why is this important? Like I said, because people will build trust. They're going to feel more comfortable when they see who are they speaking with, who are they talking with, right? So this is kind of the first mistake, is moving sales completely to WhatsApp. And then on top of everything, you don't even have your photo, you don't have the description on WhatsApp, and so on and so forth. Now, let's go to some basic mistakes. When you think about the sales, it's building relationship. It's getting to know the person, telling them what's in it for them and why they should buy your product or your service that you're selling. And to discover that, you need to discover certain things about that person. So it's very shocking to me when I call companies and pretend and say I'm interested that, number one, sales agents don't even ask for my name. They don't ask, thank you for calling. What is your name? You will be in shock how many companies the sales agents didn't ask for my name. Once you ask a person's name and you make it more personalized, and if, for example, I say, yeah, my name is Nevena, and they say, oh, Nevena, thank you for calling. We're going to make sure to give you the right information. We would love to meet you. And then at the end, you say, well, thank you once again, Nevena. When you repeat the person's name, it becomes so much personal and intimate and builds that trust so much faster. So if you're a sales agent, you need to think, I need to get to know this person. So who am I speaking with? What is your name, please? Right? And then second thing that really shocks me is that I called some companies and their agents didn't even took my information, like my phone number or email. Now think about it. You maybe on that phone call, you're giving me some information or I'm inquiring about something, but the chances you're going to close on the one phone call are close to zero. So you need to invite me to the next meeting and then follow up with me. And how you're not even asking first for my name, second for my phone number or email. You have to have my contact information. Like, data is everything in business. Write this down. Data is everything in business. The more contacts you have, your chances are bigger to follow up with those people, to build connection and so on, and build other relationships so you can sell. So please, if you're in sales, think about this. I need to get to know this person, and I need to get to know this person, and I need to collect their information so I can follow up and get to know them. Okay. And this leads me to the next mistake, which is that many agents don't pre-qualify the client or don't ask enough questions. They're simply going out and say, yeah, we have this service, we have option A, B, C, we have package 1, 2, 3, and this is the prices. But you're not actually asking me, why do I want to purchase this product, right? What are we looking for? Have we seen it? Have we tried it? Have we had any experience with this? So you're not getting any valuable information in that matter from the person who called you, from your prospect. And it's just, it's going to be very much difficult to close the sale, because the power is in knowing so much about that person that you basically find the right fit for them, right? Sales is just finding the right fit for the person who is looking for something, and you having the exact product or service they need. So please, if you are speaking with someone, you want to gather as much information as possible. And this is something we train on. And one of the questions is asking if people ever used similar product or service, and asking them what experience they had. You would be surprised how much information people can give you when you ask them this question. Okay, so have you ever, for example, had a consultant, or you interview other consultants, or you work with other consultants? What didn't you like, and what did you like? And then they start telling you all of those things. Or for example, oh, you purchased before cosmetics before. What did you like? What you didn't like? So they will tell you, oh, we didn't like the delivery, or we didn't like the product, or we couldn't return it when it was wrong. And so you will get the feedback. Remember, in business, data is everything. So you need to collect as much as possible data to know what your customers want and how you can avoid those same mistakes. And also sometimes, this is something I learned very painfully from my experience in selling, is that I would start offering someone to person and say, oh, we can do ABC. And then they tell me, I'm already doing that. Thanks. Right. And I had, after ABC, I had, like D, E, H, J, whatever. I had 11, 12 more steps. But I was presuming, this leads me to another mistake, presuming what they need without asking them, have you tried it? What are you already doing? Or what have you tried so far? What worked? What didn't work? This is so valuable for anyone in any business. So you can implement that. Now, let's move on to the next mistake, which I mentioned, and that's having presumptions about your customer and client. I was so surprised when, it didn't happen once. It happened so many times. Like I said, mystery shopping and calling for my clients, for companies in different industries, and their sales agents would tell us, oh, we have this option and this option, but this option is very expensive. Expensive or cheap is just the number compared to another number. And they made this presumption that that's maybe expensive, not knowing anything about me, not knowing how much I'm willing to purchase or what do I find. And I want to remind you, if you're in sales, that something is expensive only when people don't see value in it. Okay. And also, it's expensive when we're comparing to something cheaper, but it's also cheap when we compare it to something more expensive. So you shouldn't be using these words expensive or cheap and so on and so forth, and presuming how much this person can purchase, what they purchase, without actually identifying and asking them, right? Because if, let's say, I'm buying a property, if I'm looking for return on investment, more expensive property on a better location can bring me higher return on investment than a cheaper property, right? Or if let's stay with properties, for example, if I want to, I want to buy more expensive property because I want to rent it as luxurious property, or Airbnb on specific location. If I want to live in it, maybe I'm more, I can go with a cheaper one and have a different location. But you cannot presume anything about your client. You need to discover things about your client. So you shouldn't be like, oh, this is expensive, this is cheap, or this is too much for you. Like, who said all of those things, right? you are putting some scenarios in your head as a sales agent without actually discovering. And if you listen to any of my previous episodes on sales, or if you've been to my trainings and events, I often say that in sales, the person who listens has the power, person who asks the questions. So you want to ask the question and get specific answers of what your customer wants, and then you sell them exactly what they want. You give them the solution to the problem they're looking, right? So don't pre-assume anything about your customers or clients. Don't pre-assume and think this. They're gonna think it's expensive, so I have to justify it, and I'm gonna say, oh, this one is more expensive, but we have this option too. No, right? So these are the very, very basic things, and they all lead back to getting to know your customer or your client. And I'm gonna move to another mistake. There's so many, but um, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just funny because to me it's kind of like a common sense, but I had so much training over the years that I'm understanding, it's also an experience and knowledge, but sometimes it's a common sense. And sometimes uh again, I think it comes presumptions, but people will sometimes recommend to the customer to go to the competitor. If they say, oh, we don't have that price range, but you can go to this person, or we don't have that. And I will always say you shouldn't be doing that, right? Why are you sending without trying to close? You are sending someone to your competitor, right? You want to build that relationship as much possible and find the option for that client and that customer, right? So this is also what has been happening a lot. And sometimes I don't think the sales agents are doing it consciously in different industry happen, but they will like, oh, you're looking for that? Oh no, we don't have that option. You can go there. And I'm sure if the owner heard that, they would be like, no, we can give them better payment plan. We can give them an option. Like, let's keep this customer. Let's build a relationship so they stay with us and they purchase our product. So this is very, very important. And I'm going to go and move to the next thing. And that's that a lot of people are trying to they're not inviting a customer and client for a meeting. And like I said, if you get inquiry over WhatsApp or contacting someone, in my life, anything I was doing and everything I'm still doing is always trying to get someone to meet me in person. Okay, to build that relationship so they remember me. If you work in a company and have a beautiful office, you should have meetings back to back and bring people to that office so they see, oh, this is a valuable, credible company. You get there, you present to them, you make them excited, you make them feel a part of your team. You use different closing techniques like assumption close and so on and so forth. So your chances to close are always much, much higher when you have the meeting. So why are you, if you're sales agent, having on the phone, sharing some information and saying, all right, thank you very much, and then you don't book a meeting, right? You literally pushed away, especially if this is a lead coming to you. Okay, cold prospecting is when you are going to someone who is not inquiring about your product and service, and you're sharing with them what you can do for them. They might need it, they might not need it right now, but you still have to do and raise that awareness about what your company product or service is doing or can do for them. Okay, so if you're doing that with cold prospecting, when somebody is calling you, if your company is investing in marketing and somebody is calling you saying they're looking for that, what you're selling, for me, this is a done deal. However, companies are losing so much because it's not a done deal. And their sales agents don't even take a name, a phone number. They don't book a meeting. They give a bit of information, say bye-bye. And I'm going to move to one more thing, which is a mistake they're doing. And they lose so much. So what's the point of paying and doing marketing, paid marketing and advertising when your sales agents are not actually getting that relationship and closing those sales? Very, very interesting because for me it's a common sense, but they say that common sense is not so common. So we have to, and we're always training people on these things. And then this led me to another thing that happens, right? Is that sales agents are giving steps to a client to do. For example, they will say, "Well, thank you for calling." They give the information and they say, "Please take my number," which is giving extra work to the person who is inquiring, to the prospect. This is huge mistake. Why are you giving extra work to someone who is calling to buy from you? So you're saying, "Oh, please write down my number and you can call me if you have any questions." So I should call you again. I just called you and told you I want to buy. I don't know if you guys are laughing with me, but this is happening in such a huge companies here in UAE that it's not funny. Okay. So how come you are somebody's acquiring and you're giving that person an extra step? Like, "Oh, write down my number." No, you should have my number. You should already book a meeting with me and ask me these questions, invite me for a meeting, follow up with me, and all of those things. So no, big no is to give your prospect more things for them to do. You want to collect all the information. You want to make it super easy, because purchase process that's easy is very crucial, very, very crucial. You need to have a purchase process that is very easy, and people want to be heard. They want to be, everyone in this world want to be treated special. If I'm coming and buying something from you, it can cost 5 dirhams, 50 dirhams, 5 million dirhams. It doesn't matter. Everyone want to be treated with gratitude. Everyone want to be appreciated and, have that great customer experience so they come and buy from you. And another mistake that I'm going to move on to, there's so many, guys, but I'm gonna soon wrap this up. But there's another mistake that people are doing is on the phone call, they are giving way too much information about, for example, the functionality, about the specific products, about the details, about different options like option A, B, C, D, and so on, and about the prices. And when you on the first call overwhelm the person and you don't even know what exactly they need, you haven't pre-qualified them, when you're overwhelming them, confused mind never buys. Okay? So you have to remember, confused mind never buys. So you want to make sure you keep it simple. And if this is, for example, a first contact of someone inquiring, you tell them, "We have several options, but let us hear from you. What is it you need?" Or, "We want you to come to our office. When can you come and we show you our products or our services or our projects in person so you can see and understand better and you can make your decision?" So you are not like pushing, "Oh, this costs this much, option B costs this much, option C this much, which one do you want?" Nobody buys like that. Okay? If they tried a product or service and they know they love it, so they're going to just buy it. But if they haven't, guess what? They're not going to buy it. So what you just did, you don't know anything about actually why this client wants to buy. You gave them way too much information, so they're feeling now overwhelmed. You haven't taken their contact number, so you cannot even follow up and ask them more questions and build a relationship. You haven't given them any next steps, but on the contrary, you gave them more work that they call you again. So they're not feeling appreciated, they're not feeling heard, and you're pre-assuming what's expensive, what's cheap for them, and things like that. What's the good option without actually asking them how they feel and what do they think they want to purchase. So think about this. How would you feel in the situation like this? And how would it make you feel as a client or customer, right? So think about it and don't do it. Don't do something you don't like anyone else to do for you. And this is what I believe in. And this is amazing learning experience in everything in life. But with sales and marketing is the same. If you don't like how somebody is pitching you or selling you something, then just don't do it. And then find approach and say, I really like this person that I bought from. I'm going to use the same approach as well. And at the end of the day, people like to be heard. People like relationship. They gonna like someone who is an expert. They're gonna like someone who is actually there to help them, not just be there to sell them and not care about them after they sign the paper or they purchase the product. And you never should think short term, because your company and every company in this world depends on long term and something we call lifetime value of a customer, right? We are measuring that by how much I invested in an ad. This customer came, purchased $50, then they purchased $500, then 2 years later they purchased $5,000. So I spent this much on ads, but in the lifetime value of this customer, they spent over $10,000. So this is definitely was worth investing in marketing, right? Because you need to look at the lifetime span, lifetime value of your customers, not just one time they purchase and that's it. So we want them to come back. We want them to send us referrals, and we want to get as much data as possible to become better and understand why people are buying and what is happening. And remember, everyone can be trained on this. So if you're a sales agent, you can contact me, you can contact other companies, you can find other sales trainings. And if you're a company, also contact us. We can do these things for you and your company as well, and train your sales team. And this is where you're losing money so much, right? You're losing so much money when your people don't close the sale and they don't keep the relationship and they don't even keep the data. Data is so valuable, I cannot even explain you. So I want to challenge you. I want to give you like a small task from this podcast is the next time you call to inquire about anything, write down how was that customer service? How was that sales agent? What did you like? What you didn't like about that? How fast did they call you, right? Did they waited for 48 hours and you even forgot, right? Or they inquired or they came back to you after 2 hours when things are fresh and you had your questions and you got what you wanted. Because if you're calling too late, the chances people might already purchase. If somebody is looking for a gift and they want specific gift and your agent or person working in your company responds after 48 hours and the birthday was yesterday, you lost the sale. Somebody already booked, right? And this is something as well that's a mistake. And I see it happening a lot with so many industries that people call me after 4 or 5 days and I already found the solution. So you cannot be, sleeping in a way, be lazy and not call and not go back. If you're not enjoying these things, then you should look for a career in other areas, but not in sales. Because sales are that building relationship, are being hungry, looking to constantly find new people, and those people who inquire, you make sure they have amazing experience and you build that your personal brand and build that amazing reputation so they keep coming back. I hope this was helpful. This is really hands-on experience. And this is not just about startups. This is a huge companies you've worked in different industries, some very well known, that we see these mistakes happening, and we're all human, and that doesn't mean the company will bankrupt or something bad will happen, but it's important to identify these mistakes and then make sure when you identify these mistakes you work on them and you fix them as soon as possible so your company doesn't keep losing, but it retains the people and we see the growth, right? This is our goal. I'm going to wrap it up now, guys. Thank you for listening. Once again, please download this episode, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, and make sure to give us some likes, hearts, and comments below and share it with at least one person that can benefit from this content. I'm your host, Nevena Bežalac, business consultant and strategist. And I'm always here to give you value. For any inquiries, you can reach out to me on any social media platform and find me under my name, Nevena Bežalac, or our website, www.lakeconsulting.org. And we're here to support you, your team, and your company. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.